My name is Jessica Whitmore. I was 29 when I learned how casually someone can rewrite your reality and smile while doing it. Ethan and I had been together for 3 years, living together for 1. On paper, we looked solid. Stable jobs, shared grocery lists, inside jokes that spilled into public places. The kind of couple people assumed would get engaged quietly and without drama. The club started 6 months earlier, right after his friend group shifted. One breakup turned into weekly decompression nights. At first, it sounded harmless. Support your friends. Blow off steam. I even helped him pick outfits. Then it became every Friday. Every Saturday. Leaving at 10. Coming home near dawn. Not bars, clubs, loud ones, the kind with velvet ropes and phone cameras everywhere. I didn't say anything at first. I watched patterns instead. The outfits got smaller. The explanations got smoother. Some guy got us a VIP booth. This promoter comped our drinks. You should have seen how mad people were when we skipped the line. I smiled. I nodded. I tried to stay normal. Then I saw the video. Not from Ethan. From his friend's Instagram story. A quick clip. Too quick to deny. Ethan pressed against someone I didn't know. Not dancing, grinding, intentional. His hands comfortable. Familiar. When I brought it up, I kept my voice steady. Hey, I said, sitting beside him on the couch. I saw a story that made me uncomfortable. He didn't look guilty. He looked annoyed. Are you stalking my friends now? It popped up, I said. It's dancing Jessica. God, you're reading into it. I'm not okay with you doing that with strangers. He laughed. Not kindly. You're being possessive. That word landed heavier than I expected. I'm setting a boundary. No, he corrected. You're trying to control me. This is exactly how my ex was. I remembered his ex. The stories always changed, but the villain stayed the same. The next weekend, he was getting ready again. Shirt open. Cologne too sharp. Maybe I could come with you sometime, I said lightly. He laughed. It's friends' night. No partners. You'd hate it anyway. I don't hate clubs. You hate not being in control. That was when his friend chimed in over speakerphone. If she can't handle you having fun, that's insecurity, she said. Textbook. I looked at him for a long moment. You're right, I said finally. My bad. He smiled, kissed my cheek, and walked out. After the door closed, the apartment felt quieter than it should have. I sat on the couch and thought about the word trust. How often it gets confused with silence. How boundaries only become problems when they're inconvenient. Then I opened my phone and downloaded the app. The app finished downloading before I could second-guess myself. I sat there for a full minute with my phone in my hands, the apartment still faintly smelling like Ethan's cologne, the echo of his, "You're being possessive," looping in my head. I wasn't angry. Not yet. I was something quieter than that alert, like when you realize you've been arguing the wrong case this whole time. I opened Bumble. Profile setup felt surreal. Name, age, job, all facts, all true. Jessica, 29, brand strategist. Then came the photos. I didn't scroll far. I didn't need to. Our photos were already favorites in my camera roll because we had been real once. Beach vacation, wedding weekend, apple orchard in fall, smiling, comfortable, happy. I cropped Ethan out. Not aggressively, not petty close, just enough so it looked intentional. Like I was always alone in those pictures. Bio took me the longest. Looking for someone who values boundaries, mutual respect and honest communication. Love good food, long walks and quiet nights in, no games. I stared at the screen waiting for guilt to arrive. It didn't. Within 20 minutes, the likes started rolling in. I wasn't flattered. I was fascinated. This wasn't about attention. It was about contrast. Proof. I wasn't doing anything Ethan hadn't insisted was harmless. Saturday night. Of course he was out again. I sat on our couch, Hulu playing. Something I wasn't watching, thumb lazily swiping, when a familiar face appeared. Maya, one of Ethan's friends. Loud, confident, constantly posting about freedom and men being insecure. We matched instantly. Her message came fast. Jessica, what are you doing on here? I replied calmly. Working on myself. Ethan says I need to be less possessive and more trusting. Typing bubble. Gone. Returned. Does he know you're on a dating app? I paused, then typed. Does he tell me everything that happens at the club? No reply. 20 minutes later, my phone started vibrating like it was possessed. Ethan calling. I answered. What the hell are you doing on Bumble? His voice was sharp, panicked. Personal growth, I said. Expanding my social circle. That's not funny. I'm not grinding on strangers, I said mildly. I'm sitting on our couch. That's different. How? It just is. Silence stretched. Then louder. Delete it. Now. I smiled even though he couldn't see it. That sounds possessive. He hung up. He came home early that night, 1 a.m. instead of 4, didn't say a word, just dropped his keys and went to bed. Sunday morning, he was already seated at the kitchen table, phone in hand like evidence. "We need to talk about boundaries," he said. "I agree," I replied, pouring coffee. "You crossed a line." "Which one?" I asked. "The one where I'm supposed to be fine with you acting single, or the one where I'm not allowed to?" He slammed his phone down. Screenshots filled the screen. Messages from friends. My profile, my photos. "You used our memories." "I used my life," I said. "You're being petty." "I'm being consistent." That was when he smirked. "Fine," he said. "You want to play this game?" I didn't answer. I already knew the answer wouldn't matter. Because when someone starts calling fairness a game, they've already decided to lose. Ethan didn't talk to me the rest of Sunday. Not silent treatment silence, the strategic kind. The kind where doors close a little louder than necessary. Where sighs are meant to be overheard. Where someone wants you to apologize without asking for one. By Tuesday, he escalated. I came home from work to voices in the living room. Laughter. Familiar tones layered with tension. I stopped just inside the door when I recognized them. Maya. Jenna. A couple of other women I barely knew. All sitting on my couch legs, crossed phones out. Expressions sharpened like they'd rehearsed. Ethan stood when he saw me, relief flickering across his face. "Good," he said. "You're home. We're worried about you." I set my bag down slowly. About me. Maya took the lead, of course. She always did. "Jessica," she said gently. "The way people speak when they think they're being mature, this dating app thing, it's manipulative." I looked around the room. 4 women, 1 man, all eyes on me, as opposed to what I asked. Grinding on strangers. Jenna jumped in. "It's just dancing. You're twisting it." "And dating apps are for meeting people," I said. "Isn't that what clubs are for, too?" Maya frowned. "You're gaslighting him." I actually laughed. It slipped out before I could stop it. "How?" "By making him feel guilty for having a social life." "He can have whatever social life he wants," I said evenly. "So can I." Ethan shifted uncomfortably. "That's not the same." "Explain how," I said, turning to him. Slowly. Silence. Maya pulled out her phone. "If you delete your profile right now, we'll make sure Ethan doesn't cross any lines when he goes out." I blinked. "You'll make sure." The room went very quiet. So I said softly, "You're admitting there are lines." No one answered. Ethan stood abruptly. "You know what, keep it. I don't care." He stormed into the bedroom. That night, he updated his own profile. I didn't see it directly. Maya sent it to me, laughing emojis attached. Bio recently out of a controlling relationship. Looking for someone secure enough to let me live my truth. The comments underneath from his friends were worse. "Slay. Freedom looks good on you. Teach her a lesson." I stared at the screen for a long time. Something in me shifted, not broke. Settled. Because here's the thing they didn't expect. I was getting real matches. Not bait. Not curiosity clicks. Actual people. One stood out. Daniel, calm, witty, worked in a different industry. Asked thoughtful questions. He messaged, "Your situation sounds exhausting." I typed back, "I'm deciding if it still is." I didn't flirt. I didn't plan dates. I just didn't unmatch. And that apparently was unforgivable. Thursday night arrived with the same predictability as a bad habit. Ethan was getting ready again, shirtless in the bedroom, music up, phone glued to his hand. He didn't ask if I minded. He didn't need to. We'd passed that phase. Now it was all implication and silence, like whoever blinked first would lose. "What time will you be back?" I asked from the doorway. He shrugged. "Whenever." The word landed heavier than it should have. I stayed home, again, not sulking, observing. I ordered takeout, folded laundry, let the hours pass without tension. Around midnight, my phone buzzed. A DM request. Mason. I didn't recognize the name. No mutuals. His message was short. "Hey, I don't know you, but I think you should see this." There was a video attached. I didn't open it right away. I stared at the thumbnail instead. Neon lights, loud colors, movement blurred by alcohol and bad decisions. I already knew. My body knew before my brain caught up. When I pressed play, it confirmed everything. Ethan at the club, laughing, shirt half unbuttoned, someone off camera cheering. Then the angle shifted, and there it was. Body shots. Tequila poured down a stranger's stomach. Ethan leaning in mouth, following hands steady, like he'd done this before. Not dancing, not accidental, intentional. I watched it once, then again. Then I stopped. Something unexpected happened. I didn't feel angry. I felt relieved. Like when you finally accept a truth you've been arguing with for months. Like spoiled food you've been pretending still smells fine. I screenshotted everything. The message, the timestamp, the video. Then I did something that surprised even me. I updated my profile. New photo, Taken earlier that day. Clean, clear, just me. Caption single, ready for honesty. Boundaries aren't control, they're clarity. Within minutes, Daniel messaged. So did you decide? I typed back slowly. Yeah, it was decided for me. At 5 in the morning, Ethan came home. Buzzing, not drunk energized, that post-club glow. You would not believe the night we had, he said, kicking off his shoes. You should have seen. I turned my phone toward him. The video played silently. His face went through denial, panic calculation, and finally anger. That's not what it looks like. It looks like tequila off a stranger, I said. But feel free to explain the deeper meaning. It was a dare. Cool, I said. Then you won't mind that I'm going on a date Saturday. His head snapped up. A what? A date. You can't do that. We're together. I tilted my head. Are we? He started crying, not sad tears, angry ones. You're doing this to hurt me. I'm doing this because you've shown me who you are, I said quietly. I'm just finally listening. That was the moment the relationship ended. Neither of us said it out loud. We didn't have to. The morning after felt unnervingly calm. Ethan slept in. I didn't. I made coffee, opened my laptop, and reviewed the lease the way I'd reviewed contracts at work for years. Slow, thorough, unemotional. Only my name was on it. He paid rent month to month. No fixed term. No protections beyond what the law required. When he finally wandered into the kitchen, hair, messy eyes, cautious, I slid an envelope across the counter. What's that? He asked. 30 days notice, I said. Legally required, printed and notarized. His face drained. You can't kick me out. I can, I said calmly, and I am. The denial came first, then anger, then bargaining. You're seriously doing this over a stupid video. I'm doing this because you wanted to live like you were single, I replied. Now you can. Full time. He stormed out, phone already in his hand. By noon, the smear campaign started. Texts from mutual friends. Vague posts online about toxic partners and financial abuse. He never mentioned the clubs or the video. Someone sent me a screenshot of one post. I replied with the clip. That ended that. The real turning point came 2 days later when his mother showed up unannounced. Sandra was polite, composed, and clearly prepared to scold me. Jessica, she said carefully, Ethan says you're throwing him out. Did he show you the video? I asked. She blinked. What video? I handed her my phone. Her expression shifted in real time, from concern to disbelief to something colder. Ethan, she said, sharply standing. Pack? He stared at her. Mom. No, she said. I raised you better than this. That night, he tried the new strategy. Apologies, promises, pancakes in the morning like nothing happened. I'll stop going out, he said. I didn't realize it hurt you this much. I sipped my coffee. You realized. You just didn't care. He went quiet. The entitlement came back hard on day 28. I'm not leaving, he said, sprawled on the couch. You wouldn't actually do this. So I did. I started carrying his boxes outside. Clothes, shoes, gaming console, one by one. This is illegal, he shouted. It's not, I said. I checked. His friends arrived to help him move. Awkward, silent. One of them muttered, damn, when he recognized the story. When the car finally pulled away, Ethan leaned out the window. You'll regret this. I closed the door. I didn't. The quiet after Ethan left wasn't empty. It was clean. No late-night doors slamming. No excuses drifting in at dawn. No subtle pressure to be smaller so someone else could feel free. For the first time in months, my apartment felt like mine again. Every mug, every pillow, every inch of space unquestioned. I didn't rush into anything, despite what Ethan would later tell people. Daniel and I started slowly. Coffee, walks, long conversations that didn't feel like negotiations. He never asked why I wasn't out on a Friday night, never joked about being allowed to do things. When I told him the story, really told him, he didn't interrupt. He just said, that sounds exhausting. And he was right. Meanwhile, Ethan unraveled loudly. First, it was social. His posts got sharper, longer captions about freedom and trust and how strong people don't let anyone clip their wings. The engagement dropped fast once people realized there was more missing than context. Then it was practical. He tried staying with friends. That didn't last. Apparently just dancing hits different when it's your couch, your groceries, and your patience being tested at 3 a.m. His job wasn't thrilled either. Too many sick days, too many tagged club stories during work hours. Someone from HR recognized him from the app screenshots that had made the rounds. Consequences have a way of arriving quietly one after another until the noise stops. The last time I heard from him directly was a text at 11 p.m. I miss you. I stared at it for a while. Then I replied, I don't. That was the truth. Daniel and I went out together on weekends. Together. Sometimes with friends. Sometimes alone. No secrecy. No scorekeeping. If one of us wanted space, we said it. If something crossed a line, we talked about it before it turned into a weapon. It wasn't dramatic. It was healthy. And I realized something then. Peace doesn't need to prove itself. It just exists. 3 weeks after Ethan moved out, he showed up at my door. It was almost 11. Late enough to be intentional. He was wearing the same outfit he used to wear to the clubs, the one he knew I once liked. Hair done. Expressions soft in that rehearsed way that always used to work. "I just want to talk," he said. I didn't step aside. "We're talking now." He exhaled frustrated. "I've changed." I looked past him down the hallway at the quiet building that no longer held his chaos. "You said that when I asked for respect, I replied. You said that when I asked for honesty. You said that when I asked for boundaries." He tried to step forward. I stepped back and closed the door. He knocked for a long time, long enough that it turned embarrassing, long enough that the neighbors noticed. Eventually, he slid a note under the door. "You'll never find someone who loves you like I did." I picked it up, read it once, then texted him. That's the point. The aftermath was almost poetic. His friend group collapsed under its own weight. Secrets turned on each other. The same people who'd called me controlling suddenly had very clear boundaries when it was their turn to feel uncomfortable. Ethan stayed loud online for a while, then quieter, then invisible. The last update reached me secondhand. He'd changed his bio again, looking for someone who understands that trust means freedom. Apparently it wasn't getting many matches. As for me, my life simplified. Daniel and I didn't need grand gestures. We showed up. We included each other. When someone invited him out, he asked if I wanted to come. When my friends planned something, they did the same. Not because we had to, because we wanted to. That word Ethan loved so much, possessive, lost its power. Because I learned the difference. Control demands silence. Boundaries demand honesty. And anyone who calls your limits a threat was never respecting you in the first place.